Now, ladies and gentlemen, would you like some more uploads of papers concerning the LGO, the Local Government Ombudsman, who never reply? Never. Because how can they reply to the truth? Only by lies. But the problem is, the truth is such that their lies that they wish to speak against it, they can see there is no point. There is no point, because every word is evidenced. So it's futile, and they know it's futile. They own their own guilt. The local government ombudsman owns its own guilt, that it is guilty, and that a member of staff has committed gross misconduct in public office. And that the local government ombudsman, knowing this, is equally guilty, aiding and abetting. If it was a member of my staff, I'd ask them, why? Why did you do this? You're not employed by me to do this. You are employed to serve members of the public, not by your will, but by the terms and conditions of your employment. You are a facilitator of services. And if she couldn't give an answer, or he couldn't give an answer, I'd dismiss them on the grounds of gross misconduct in public office. You can straightway dismiss them. No verbal warnings, no written warnings. It's a heinous crime to deceive people. But then again, we have the British government who does it on a second by second basis. And the people love to have it so, because it's entertainment for the masses. Now then, dear sir, madam, it has come to my attention that the above disabled old lady has been forced against her free will, I wrote this, to sign away her evidence against your department whilst looking over the papers she had submitted to yourselves and to the court. There still remains a case to answer. What they've done here is that Judge Hennessy got involved again to support the local government ombudsman. The local government ombudsman said to this lady, to the claimant, right, if you drop the case, we will not ask the court for compensation against you, court costs, okay, and showed the old lady almost £8,000 worth of court costs. Judge Hennessy intimated, very strongly intimated, that she would find in favour of the local government ombudsman. So pressure was put upon this old lady to sign away her right. How wicked is that? Both the judge and the local government ombudsman, who are supposed to serve the public, bludgeoned, forced, pressurised this old woman to sign away her right. And both the judge and the local government ombudsman went away laughing. Ha 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 ha! I've got another one. Laughing. I tell you what, that picking judge wasn't laughing when I'd finished with her. Oh, I went in. In February the 4th. I went into that picking court. And I let the Hennessy, speak. And I got up. And I said, Madam, you're a criminal. And rebuked her. And she went mad. Oh, nice composure. Yeah. She just went ballistic. Ha! Oh, she started her threats against me. And I said, keep waffling on. Go on. Carry on. Because you've broken the law. Gross misconduct in public office. You have no right to do what you've just done. And when I'd finished what I meant to say, purposely say, as I turned round, I saw her in the corner of my eye, reaching for this black phone. Got no phone security. I thought, you stupid bint. If security comes, fine. Amen. Because I'll call the police. If security had been come, if they'd arrived, I'd have said, hey, hang on a minute, gentlemen, you know me. Now then, phone the police. I'd have them phone the police. Because I'd taken papers, you see, to that picking court for the prosecution of District Judge Hennessy and Powell. Deputy District Judge Powell as well. So I called the police and I've had the claimant say, right, officers, here's the papers, want that woman arrested. Yeah. Blackguards, let's go up a bit. Okay. Now the Court of Appeal, as we shall put up a reply to the Court of Appeal, has decided, out of hand, okay, not to give an appeal, basically, to this old lady regarding this case and another. What it basically is the Court of Appeal, like the system as it is today, okay? Everybody's covering everybody else's back. You see, they understand. The Court of Appeal understands that if they say, right, okay, this District Judge Hennessy has done this is gross misconduct in public office, it's open, obvious. Malfeasance is obvious. That will then get her into trouble as a judge. The judge, Hennessy, will get into trouble. So, we won't grant the appeal. We'll pass it by. And the most blatant is when an appeal went into this Court of Appeal, that District Judge Hennessy had no legal power. Doesn't matter about authority, it's power of law. The law is power. That District Judge Hennessy had, Birkenhead County Court, overruled a QC. That was put to this court. And this court passed it by. Didn't want to know. Now, how blatant can you get? You're an appeal court and you get a letter in front of you, an evidence in front of you, that a judge in Birkenhead County Court, Judge Hennessy, has acted beyond her powers. You would then say, right, fair enough, I find in favour of the person appealing, because clearly by overruling a QC, District Judge Hennessy has exceeded her powers. Anything, therefore, you see, cannot stand by that judge. Whatever the judge says cannot stand, because she's exceeded her powers. She's out of her realm, okay, of power, out of her jurisdiction of power. She's no power to pronounce on that case that has already been found, the council has already been found guilty of gross negligence. Wirral Metropolitan Borough Council has been found again guilty of gross negligence, and they accepted that they have been found guilty of gross negligence. And District Judge Hennessy knows that they've been found guilty of gross negligence and has been ordered by the QC, Liverpool County Court. That QC of Liverpool County Court, Judge Wright, to dispose, in other words, award compensation to this old lady. Corruption. Okay, let's come back to this. The LGO, Local Government Ombudsman, has never denied it lied in saying to Miss Chalmers, just down here, that it had evidence from Wirral Metropolitan Borough Council that the lady was found guilty of antisocial behaviour by this council, sitting as a court of law. The council sat as a big court of law, when in fact there was no evidence, and that papers submitted to the courts. District Judge Hennessy, now this is the real court, okay? The council had sat as a court, kangaroo court, Mr. Skippy, okay? And found this woman guilty of antisocial behaviour. But when it went to the real court, when she took it to the real court, the magistrate's court, there was a judge sitting there, district judge, Mr. District Judge Clancy, who found in her favour and that the local government ombudsman was guilty of gross misconduct in public office, and that the council was guilty, of gross negligence, and the council equally was found guilty of gross negligence. And in another case, the police, Merseyside Police, were found guilty, including Mr. Crook, Chief Constable of Merseyside, was found guilty of gross negligence. The only drawback with Clancy is that he didn't issue warrants. He should have issued warrants. But covering each other's backs again. Okay. Let's go up. The Lord Chancellor's office, completely, guess what? Dismissive. Didn't want to know. Oh, don't tell us, I don't want to know. His office passed it on to another regulator. That regulator didn't want to know. You just got to fight the buggers. You just got to fight the buggers. And I'll tell you what is more. There is another regulator. I know, there's picking regulators all over the place. Hey? There's another regulator to deal with the courts. Within the appeal court, there's a department to deal with judges. The good conduct of judges. Well, we wrote to them, and if I can find the picking paper, I'll put it up. Wrote to them, saying about all this, and they said, well, you know, the regulations are this. He said, we can't deal with anybody unless they're drunk or they've fallen asleep on the bench. Yeah. They said, that's gross misconduct. They tried to pass it off because we were members of the public. Oh, members of the public don't know any different. So it's gross misconduct if a person falls asleep or is drunk. Right. Okay. So I wrote back and gave them a list. A list of what gross misconduct is, and they never replied. I put in one of them. I said, right, gross misconduct, the judge comes into the court, okay, and he flashes to everybody. Hey? Is that gross misconduct? The pervert stands there flashing. Huh? Eh? The judge comes into the court and he sits down and he says to the appellant and the defendants, feck off, get out of my fucking court, go on, let me enjoy my pissing sandwiches. That's not gross misconduct, is it? Eh? Huh? A lunatic on the bench. Eh? Of course it isn't. He has to be drunk or asleep. Eh? I mean, a disorderly judge is, in your eyes, just fine, as long as he isn't drunk or asleep. And how can you commit this? Okay. How can you do it when you're asleep? Unless you're doing it in your sleep. I'm fine for the claimant. Yes, but there's no evidence from the claimant that has been put forth. It's a vexatious claim. I'm fine for the defendants in that case. No, you aren't, says the claimant. I mean, it's just pigging wild what they expect us to believe, you know. Well, of course they couldn't answer, especially when I really put it down to them that the judge had actually committed, according to law, gross misconduct in public office. They try it on, ladies and gentlemen. They try it on. They try it on. Every bent department of government tries it on. Why not? Government does it. So every bugger else does it.